Hello everyone, welcome back to my studio. Can you believe it's May already? We're almost halfway through the year. It'll be Christmas before we know it. So what I'm doing today is another installment in the Take 5 Art Challenge. So the prompts for this month are blue and silver, die cuts, drips, use a medium that you don't use often, and something out of your comfort zone. The blue, the silver, the die cuts and the drips, they're all pretty easy to come up with. But a medium that I don't use very often, and I'm really not very good at it, is watercolour. And here you can see me stenciling with watercolour. And if you saw the way I applied the paint to the sponge, don't think you're supposed to do that with watercolour somehow. Anyway, I like the colour that it came out and the effect that I got. So I'm using another stencil now. The thing that's out of my comfort zone is my brayer. And I'm not talking about a donkey. It's a hard rubber roller that you can use to either apply paint with or to use pressure when you're stenciling. So I use a small one later on to apply some paint. But at the moment I've just done some watercolour stenciling and I'm now trying to get my paint to drip down the page, and I've almost got my book standing up completely upright and it still wouldn't run properly or freely the way I wanted it to. So I had to pull out the spray bottle and give it a shot with some water to get it to run where I wanted it to. Unfortunately the left side of that book is a little bit fat, so my paint keeps running down to the center of the spine. There we go with the water. So that's running okay, but you can see on the right hand side of that left hand page it just keeps running into the spine. I love that stencil on the right hand page. Actually the page as it is on the right hand side, I could just leave that as it is. I think that's beautiful. I love that. And I love that stencil. It's Little Leigh. It was only a cheap one. It was a couple of dollars from one of the the cheap shops. I decide I need to dry my paint, so I get the hairdryer out and then I realise it's actually pushing the drips down the page, which I thought was a bonus. Now I've loaded my sponge up with some silver paint and I've got my clock stencil again, and I'm going to stencil on some of that design on top of the blue. I always have trouble holding those things still. A little bit on the right hand side now. There it goes, moves again. That was quite thick, that paint, so I had to get the dryer out and give that a blast to get the silver dry. This is the little stencil I was talking about. That silver paint has actually mixed with the blue paint that was on the stencil previously, so it's made a silvery blue colour down in that corner. I'm now deciding where I'm going to put my die cuts. I don't have a lot of die cuts, and I was fortunate that I had a handful that were perfect colour for this spread. And I'm just using a PVA glue to glue them on. I'd normally use gel medium, but I've been finding it just too messy, and my pages stick together if I get medium come out from underneath the stencil. I'm not going to use that bird. I will add a few butterflies. I know that's a dragonfly, but yeah, I'm going to put these butterflies in because I love the colour of them. And this one I chose because I just wanted that pop of pink on the page. And I couldn't make up my mind where to put it. In hindsight, I wish that I'd torn around the edge of that other big butterfly, the greeny coloured one. It's too tidy. So I've now got my metallic watercolour paints, and I'm mainly going to use the silver and the blue, and I paint over the butterflies to give them a bit of a shimmer. And on that flower too. And then I try to get it to run down the page. Not very successfully. I had to really use a lot of water. I didn't want it to run over that butterfly as it did, and I'll later on come back with the wet brush and take that paint away. I don't mind the way that one has run over that blue butterfly, that's okay. But that big green butterfly just seems to become swamped by that metallic paint. Decided to put some words on there, so I put "Love is like a butterfly," and anyone who's a Dolly Parton fan knows that's the first or the opening lines to one of her songs. It's a song that I've loved since I was a teenager. So I just used the brayer then to apply that blue paint around the edges. The colour of that paint is called Tranquility, and it's beautiful. I love it. I never think to use it enough. I'm just applying a border and going around some of the butterflies. I thought they sort of didn't stand out enough after putting all that watercolour paint over them. In particular that one that I'm working on there. Just doodling on a few little scrolly marks here and there, and I will actually doodle on a couple of little flowers down on the bottom here. I'll put the date on the side of the page, so the 4th of the 5th, 21. Sit back and have a look, and then of course I decide that I want to do some more work on it and put some more blue into some areas that I think are a little bit lacking, and then I intensified that pink and put a couple more drips of that pinky colour. I think it's actually magenta. It's in Inktense. Those ones. I don't know whether they're actually watercolours or they're inks. So if you know, can you let me know in the comments, because I'd be interested in that. I couldn't see it anywhere on the box. And this is where I'm taking that extra paint off the butterflies to make them a little bit more distinct. I hope you've enjoyed seeing me create this page. If you would like to leave me a comment or a thumbs up, that'd be awesome. I really appreciate that. If you're not subscribed and you think you'd like to watch more of my videos, feel free to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss knowing when I'm putting up something new. You're quite welcome to share the video, tell your friends about it, get them to join the channel as well. That'd be great. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.